Police Officer First Class Mark Michaud. I'm with the Slidell Police Department in Slidell, Louisiana. For quite a few years, I was asked to do a lot of the diving myself, because most of what we do in our waterways is evidence recovery and issues like that. Sometimes it's in our state, sometimes it's across the border in Mississippi. Usually due to burglary cases and things like that. And we've gotten a little bit busier, and it came to a point to where, why don't we just go ahead and put a whole team together and have some other people available for this too. We don't have a budget, but it works well because now we can dive with what we want to instead of what we're limited to by budget. So that works real well, and it's just kind of rolled on from there. It's good. It's one of those things that it's fun too. It's not just work.
What's the most unusual or critical item that you've been asked to recover on duty?
I think the most challenging one that I've been involved with was something I was personally called on this year. Wildlife and Fisheries in Louisiana handles all boating accidents, and about 40 miles away there's what we call a Pearl River Navigation Canal that the Corps of Engineers dug in 1930s, and it was for the logging industry and the paper industry. There's a Bogachita River that comes off of that, and it comes off on a spillway that's about 250 feet wide, and it's a big concrete structure like a dam, and it drops down 8 to 10 feet or so, and it funnels everything in, and when it does, it just funnels it into a small area, so it's a very, very massive current, and of course you've got the waterfall there as such too. A husband and wife in their early 60s, late 50s, early 60s, turned up missing. They found their boat. They had crashed it on the spillway, and had been there for about 10 days in this general area looking, trying to find them. Wildlife and Fisheries contacted me to come out because I've been diving these rivers for a long time, and there's places that I'll go that other people aren't comfortable with, and so that's kind of my spot is, if you've got something you're not comfortable with, let me come take a look at it. If I'm not going to go if I don't find my happy spot. But I looked at it, I said, yeah, I believe we can do this. Went home that day, came back the next morning, spent about 7 hours in the water. Found out I'm the first person that's ever dived a big spillway over there to see what it's made of, and it wasn't all that. But when it was all said and done, we were able to eliminate that basic area. I spoke with them, spoke with the family a little bit, and in the end, the call that I made was that they didn't drown. They were probably killed on impact based on what had happened, how the crash probably happened. They had some reconstruction guys that were coming out later, and they verified what I had felt. So they moved the search down now on day 12, and a couple of days later they found the woman, the wife, and then a few days after that they were able to find the husband a little bit further downstream. But that was definitely with the current and the trees that were submerged and stuff like that. That was probably the most challenging police dive I've ever done, but it worked out well because the family got some closure. They got to bring their parents home, and they knew what happened.
How does it feel to have a national memorial to honor fallen law enforcement officers?
Appreciation really goes a long ways. That means more than anything else in the world. Good, heartfelt appreciation. And when you do end up giving your life in the line of duty, your families are left behind, and you don't want it to be for just absolutely nothing. And when you get that kind of appreciation that just lives on in memory, it says a lot to me about the honorable job that we have, and it says a lot about our integrity as law enforcement and as a nation, that the people on the other side of law enforcement will come to this and will see this and will honor that. That is really unbelievable.